Cease.
Johnny talked yesterday about all the progress you made and the progress the team has made. How does that work continue without winning? At what point
Yeah.
do you really have to win a game to really cement that?
It may not. I don't know. That's the question, and that's why you have to just continue to trust the process. That's why you have to continue to be better today than you were yesterday. Again, we talk about what season we're in. We're in a season of sowing. You don't sow and harvest in the same season. It may not yield the result we want. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think we've prepared our team for that, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So my thing is, if we stop trying, if we stop playing hard, if we quit, then we know we're not going to get a win. And so I think we see the progress we're making. And I think we fully believe that that's going to come at some point if we continue to do the things, but we can't worry about that. Again, our worry and our focus is on today when we go out there and practice. What are we doing to be better? What did we take from last night? The good things. What are some things that we can continue to work on? And how can we make that small step of improvement or that huge step of improvement in whatever area that is to, again, make ourselves better?
And when you look at last night, if you had a chance to look at the film, you had moving forward, how much of everything you did so many good things was the matchup and game plan or change, and then moving forward, how does that look taking that forward against Mississippi State this weekend?
I think this league is a game of matchups. There are certain teams that you match up well against. There's some teams where it's a hard matchup and it's a tough matchup. So some of that is there. I think for me, we are getting better every single game right now, regardless of the matchup, because we've got so much room to improve. So there's things that we can find in every single game, regardless of the matchup, that we can identify as areas to get better. When we look at teams, we're like, ooh, that's a matchup that we can take advantage of, or this is going to cause us some problems. What things are problematic for Mississippi State? They share the ball really well. They have 3 players that average double figures and 2 more right behind them at 8. They are very excellent at running the floor. They've got great size. So those are things we look at and we're like, and then we try to figure out how are we going to attack it, or how are we going to take some of those things away.
Kind of going off Cease's first question, how do you talk to the girls from just a confidence standpoint of, coming into games, seems like you mentioned, their effort has been there. It's not a matter of that. It's not a matter of disbelief and feeling sorry for themselves. But
Yep.
just going into a game to where they feel like, fighting feelings of exasperation, dejection, that they're fighting all these factors that are outside their control. Just, going into the game thinking this could be the day where we get the result instead of, here we go, buckle up and kind of just do what we can.
Well, I mean, the good thing I would say is that we've had these conversations for a long time with our team, well before the season started and well before we even got injured. I've said this before, even if we had our full roster, I don't know if we would have won a game then. We had a lot to do. We're relying on freshman talent that hasn't been tested, and we're relying on returners who have never done this before. So even with our full roster, we were going to struggle until we figured it out. And nobody knew how long that was going to take. We now are in it and we can see the steps are in the right direction. So this is not a, let's figure out now what the messaging is. This messaging started in April and it has been consistent all the way through. So this is not a Johnny come lately thought that we've had. And so in saying that, do they want to win? Do we want to win? Absolutely. In that locker room, are they frustrated because they can see how close they are? Sure. But are they dejected by any means? No, because where we are now, we've been talking about becoming for a really, really long time. And that's our job as a staff, is to try to identify who we are as a team as early as possible and then be as honest as possible with our team about who we are. And so we have been very honest from the very beginning. We are not very good, period. We can be better. We can get better, but we're not very good. So it is all valid, what you guys are asking, but we're not scrambling trying to figure out what to say to our team. We've been saying this for a really long time.
What are some things that you saw last night that you still want to be able to see worked on at home this weekend?
We still had about 3 or 4 possessions in the third quarter where we turned it over or we didn't score offensively. And let me not say score, because we had a ton of possessions where we didn't score. We had offensive possessions where we did not execute, where somebody was on a different page than someone else, or we forced something. And last night when that happened, it led to easy baskets for them, or it got them into their offense, and that's when they kind of broke it open to 10. We are not in a position to be in that type of deficit right now and overcome it just because we're struggling so much offensively. We've got to keep that thing within a certain number. Now, credit our team for coming back in the fourth and cutting it back down, but those are some things we can control. So we've got to eliminate offensive possessions where we turn it over because we're not doing the right thing, right? Turnovers are going to come. We talk all the time about what do turnovers look like. There's a live ball turnover, there's a dead ball turnover, and there's a turnover because 3 people were running one thing and 2 were running something else. And we had too many of those last night, and you just can't do it in this league against good teams. And every time we've done that, the other team has maximized on it, and they've stretched the lead, and we haven't been able to recover.
7 to more.
7 on Sunday.
Okay, you joked about you did something wrong to the SEC office to catch 3 teams, good teams first. Now you're facing someone that has a open. You're playing 6 players. You're playing a team that didn't play on Thursday night. So
Yeah.
they're really going to have fresh legs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a good.
Yep, you know what, we can't, and I joked that people were asking me what had we done to the SEC
Right.
office. I was happy with our schedule. Actually, I wanted to play the best first. Yeah, they didn't play last night. 8 teams didn't play last night. 4 did. It's how it works. It is what it is. And again, a conversation we have early on is control what we can control, and we cannot control our SEC schedule. We only get to play it, and that's what we're going to do on Sunday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.